So hello, New Life. I am Pastor Greg, and I want to welcome you to this whole Advent series. We're walking through this series towards Christmas to prepare ourselves for the coming of Jesus. That's what Advent means, the coming, the appearing of Jesus. And it's not only to celebrate the appearing of Jesus 2,000 years ago in a manger, but the appearing of Jesus when he someday soon will come and take us home. And it is a wake-up call. It's a time to let the rock hit our windshield and wake us up from a little bit of slumber to say, Jesus, I want to focus on you. I want to fix my eyes on you, especially during this season. And so I want to remind us today as we begin this Advent series that God has a plan. He has a plan for you. He has a plan for me. He has a plan for every detail of life. Consider this, that before time even began, Jesus being born in a manger was in the mind of God. He saw that. He desired that. He planned that. Before there was sin in the world, before Satan and the angels fell, before Adam and Eve fell, God had designed that he would send Jesus, his son, to be born in a manger, to live a sinless life, to absorb our sin, to die on a cross. God had a plan that enfolded all of that. So back in Genesis chapter 3, we read these words. This is part of the curse in the fall. And God is talking, and he is talking specifically to the serpent, to Satan. He says, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and her offspring. He shall bruise your head, and you shall bruise his heel. I will put enmity between your offspring and her offspring. In other words, God saw the battle ahead where Jesus would someday defeat Satan, where he would crush his head and gain complete victory. And why is that important? It's important to know that God has plans. This world isn't unfolding just in happenstance. It's not just unfolding by some mystery or chance. God has plans. In fact, we read these words in Isaiah chapter 46. Remember this and stand firm. Recall it to mind. He says, I am God and there is no other. I am God and there's none like me, declaring the end from the beginning, from ancient times, things not yet done, saying, my counsel shall stand, and I will accomplish all my purpose. He is the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. He has plans. So when Esther heard the words, for such a time as this, who knows, but for such a time as this that you were born. Paul, who was a Jew and a Greek and a Roman citizen who knit together all three of those worlds in order to be an apostle, there is a plan of God. So in my own life, I look back when I was a teenager and I was kicked out of my house. I remember struggling, trying to understand things, living in the back of a mail truck. It can be comforting to rest and know I don't know what God's plan is. I don't know what he is doing, but I do know that God has a plan. I know that God is in this trial. God is in this suffering. God is in these dark days as much as he is in the light days. He is in the valley of the shadow of death, and he is on mountain peaks of glory. God is in all places, and he has a plan. And I know if I'm in the midst of suffering and someone says, hey, God has a plan for you, I don't think really kind thoughts back towards them. It can be comforting. God does have a plan. He is with us in all things. And as we worship Jesus at Christmas, we can be comforted that no matter what circumstance we're in, no matter what circumstance life is bringing us, we can rest. There is a God who oversees all things, who is looking out for us and has a plan. And that plan ultimately is for good. And so as you worship God over this Christmas season, would you know that God is in the darkness and he is in the light. He is in the junk and he is in the goodness. He is with you in all things, and he has a plan for you. Be comforted in that truth. God bless.